So it appears Donald Trump is truly facing some difficult moments. His health is looking worse as each day passes, and this coincides with his administration seemingly falling apart. Just recently, he shared some strange posts advocating for his own impeachment. Whether this was intentional or merely an accidental error, it created quite the spectacle, particularly over the weekend when he was sharing a series of bizarre QAnon posts. Several of these even featured weird AI-generated images depicting himself as a huge fascist robot.
Arrest? Say it. Do you have any comment about Bolsonaro's arrest? A former Brazilian president.
So I spoke last night to the gentleman you just referred to, and we're going to be meeting, I believe, in the very near future.
Sir, are you willing about the president being arrested today? What? Any comment about the former Brazilian president being arrested today?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Are you willing? Mr. President, are you willing?
I didn't hear. Is that what happened?
Yes, there's a citation.
That's too bad.
Do you have any thoughts,
That's too
Mr.
bad.
President?
No, I just think it's too bad.
The order?
Honestly, it was a real mystery. Then there was a video that appeared over the weekend showing Trump struggling as he walked through the White House with one of his grandchildren. We have all noticed how he found it difficult to maintain his balance and walk in a straight path. Recall that odd occasion when he rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska?
The president was asked about the former Brazilian president being arrested, and he mentioned that he spoke with this gentleman. Did he speak with Bolsonaro the day before he was arrested?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know if that call took place or not.
He couldn't keep himself upright on his feet back then either. And just recently in Japan, Prime Minister Takaishi had to physically lend him a hand because he was veering all over the place. The White House is attempting to minimize his health concerns, claiming it's just chronic venous insufficiency, but frankly, people are finding it hard to believe that explanation. If that were accurate, he must be at some advanced stage of it by this point. There's much discussion suggesting he might have suffered several strokes or could be dealing with serious issues related to his heart, kidneys, or even liver. Openness is definitely absent here.
President came in and President Trump sprayed perfume all over him, and I just wondered, did he smell?
No. Let me tell you, that happens all the time, not just with the Syrian president, but I've seen it with other foreign leaders. I've seen it with members of our cabinet, myself. He has a cologne and a perfume. Yes. He's just showing off his wonderful sense.
Trump mentioned a couple of weeks ago that he had an MRI last October, though he seemed clueless about which section of his body was scanned. A reporter even asked him, "What do you mean you don't know the body part? Is it your brain?" And Trump just dismissed it, saying, "No one really knows where MRIs are performed," which is a bit peculiar. The fact that he keeps going back for advanced medical imaging so often makes one think there's something significant occurring below the surface. Interestingly, our friends specifically from Patriot Takes were the ones who first noticed Trump's strange posts about impeaching himself. It appears that this funny situation caught the attention of other outlets later on, including the Daily Beast. They pointed out how Trump at 79 accidentally boosted demands for his own impeachment. What a wild series of events this has all become. Recently, Donald Trump shared a post featuring Senator Mark Kelly stating, "You can refuse illegal orders." This declaration is supported by law, and the Democratic account behind it was just presenting the truth. The post also included a call to impeach Trump a third time, which seemed like a jab at him for his remarks about wanting military tribunals and extreme actions against Democratic lawmakers who advocate for refusing illegal orders. This, incidentally, is actually a part of military code. So essentially, Trump reposted something that seemed to endorse his own impeachment. Pretty paradoxical, isn't it? Now, regarding Trump's appearance, dressing up like someone he calls Mom Donnie. It's almost comical how he looked delighted while in the Oval Office. And just this past weekend, he departed again, likely at the taxpayer's expense to go golfing or whatever he does to avoid the public eye.
The morning, President Trump is planning to unveil a new health care proposal. And at this point, we're still waiting to know exactly what's in it. But we're told it could include a temporary extension of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year. They were at the center of the government shutdown. Zach, thanks for being here. As I noted, we are very much still waiting for specifics here. I'm sorry, this has actually been, sorry, Zach, we're getting breaking news while I'm talking to you. I have learned that the White House has postponed its expected unveiling of this new health care proposal. It was expected to be unveiled today. We'll learn more, hopefully.
But here is the crucial point. He actually dressed up like Mom Donnie, skipping the makeup for the day. It brought to mind when I was a child wanting to be Batman, pleading with my parents to take me to the park in my costume. In Trump's situation, he donned a turtleneck and fully embraced the Mom Donnie look. Check out that image of him with Mom Donnie on Friday. He looked genuinely happy. Next up, there's the concerning moment where Trump struggled to walk with his grandkid. Watching that reminded me of signs of dementia in my view, but I'll leave the diagnosis to the professionals.
That we denuclearize.
Mr. President, could you tell us why you needed to get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Why you think I shouldn't have it? Other people got it.
Typically, an MRI
I had an
is some
MRI.
specific part of your body.
Here's what the story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year. And the result.
Anyway, when Trump was sporting that Mom Donnie outfit, reporters questioned him about Jair Bolsonaro, the former Brazilian leader. Bolsonaro had attempted to lead an insurrection and is now serving over 20 years in prison for it. He recently tried to flee but ended up getting arrested. Their Supreme Court took definitive action against him, which is more than we can say for our own. So when Trump was questioned about Bolsonaro, it seemed like he either missed the question completely or pretended to be attentive and responded with, "Yeah, I spoke to Jair really when he was escaping." Quite the moment, right? So Donald Trump recently mentioned that he had a chat with a leader and that they were planning to meet soon.
Analyst Dr. Jonathan Reiner. Most of us do not get an MRI as part of a normal physical. Aren't they typically used to detect things like strokes and aneurysms and tumors? I mean, do you have any clues as to why the president would have gotten an MRI?
It's not part of a routine screening. There's been really a lack of candor. The big question is what prompted his MRI? So what symptoms were they concerned about? What particular type of MRI was performed? Was it a brain MRI? Was it a cardiac MRI? Was it an MRI of the spine, of his prostate?
It's almost comical how he throws around these assertions. You can't help but wonder if he genuinely spoke to that person, or if he just fabricated it all in his mind. After all, this is the same person who seems to lie about talking to world leaders constantly. Like, sure, he might have been chatting with Bolsonaro while everything was going wrong for the former Brazilian president, and then there's him reacting to the news that Bolsonaro is going to prison. It's like a delayed realization where he finally asks if that's truly occurring. You'd think he would already know this information being the president and all. Then Caroline Leavitt, who is essentially his spokesperson, stepped in and said that no, Trump didn't actually talk to Bolsonaro.
Yeah, I think the gaslighting coming from this administration is mind-boggling, but not surprising. Watching the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, and others defend this is absolutely insane to me. I mean, if this was any other president, we would be having conversations about the 25th Amendment if they were calling for the opposing party, members of the opposing party, to be hanged. And instead, she flips this over on how, well, they're inciting violence. And to me, it looks like the president is the one very clearly inciting violence here.
While that's confusing, it feels like there's some sort of communication breakdown happening here. Donald Trump recently spent his weekend sharing some truly strange posts, including a cartoon of himself with the message, "Do it, Q, time to destroy the deep state." This entire concept links to a QAnon narrative that suggests Trump should carry out mass executions on Capitol Hill, which is pretty unsettling. In another bizarre post, he shared an AI-generated image of himself seemingly about to injure lawmakers, captioned, "No one shall escape his justice." while those legislators looked like they were kneeling before him. It's honestly hard to believe he published that.
A member of a gang, and then they looked, and on his knuckles he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped.
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattoos.
Furthermore, he oddly bragged about having the highest poll numbers of his career, even though those numbers are actually at an all-time low. It's like a strange disconnection from reality. And on top of all that, as he was caught on camera walking with one of his grandkids, it was difficult to observe. His difficulty walking raised some concerns. To me, it suggests possible health issues, maybe even dementia. But I'm not here to diagnose. It's just surprising to see someone in that condition being so vocal and posting such erratic content. Clearly, there's a lot going on that we should be observing closely. So, the former President Biden has been out there riding bikes and running around while we've got Donald Trump struggling to walk. There's this video that Ivanka posted showing him dragging his leg and limping, which is definitely raising questions about his health. The Irish star even highlighted these new concerns about him. And then there's Caroline Leavitt, who was on a show with the New York Post hosted by Miranda Devine. They got into this wild conversation about how Trump has this odd habit of sniffing people when they come into the Oval Office. Imagine that. He actually sprays his staff with cologne and perfume, and then he goes in for a sniff. It's a little unusual, to say the least. Honestly, after all that's come to light, it feels like we're dealing with someone who might not be completely sound mentally. By the way, Doctor, Jonathan Reiner, who used to be Dick Cheney's cardiologist, commented on the subject. Then there's Sarah Matthews, a former deputy press secretary for Trump, who suggests that the 25th Amendment should be invoked in his situation. And here's something else to consider. There's this memorable interview where Trump bizarrely claimed that a gang member named Abrago Garcia had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. The irony is that the White House itself had literally put those letters on the knuckles. Abrago had tattoos featuring a skull and a marijuana leaf, but the Trump White House just decided to write MS-13 on it. Trump insists, no, it literally says MS-13, but it really doesn't. And this is the same person who's ordering military actions off the coast of Venezuela and has waged a trade war that has genuinely harmed American farmers and workers. Quite the individual, isn't he? So it feels like we're all being affected hard by inflation lately. And it's like we're dealing with a real-life psychopathic maniac at the helm. I'm not exaggerating, just check out the videos I'm referencing. And honestly, witnessing the whole affair makes you realize why so many people are losing confidence in the news. I mean, it was just a constant debate. And he even brought up his obsession with posting a sombrero on Democratic leader Jeff's head during the shutdown. Just the most bizarre behavior. It really makes you wonder who acts in that manner. And then there's this wild moment where he's calling for his own impeachment. Talk about meta. It feels like the guy just cannot help but cause controversy. It's wild, and I'll keep you informed as events develop. Bye.